G'day there, legends. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Terror from the Void. We'll be starting Season 2. So we're going to start a new game. We're going to be playing on Hero. Now, there's a lot of changes to the mod since I last published anything. I have seen some of these changes. I've played a little bit with some of these changes, but certainly not all of them. We're not going to go through that. There will be a time to discuss the changes, what I've seen, what I haven't, what I like, what I don't like. This is not that time. I think we're just going to start plain old Phoenix Point. I would like to start, I think, in Cambodia, is it? I'm sure that's an option. Yeah, there we go. Starting squad unbuffed, difficulty untactical unchanged, disable saving on, that's just a stability thing. Everything else we're just going to be leaving default. That means the better enemies mod I believe will not be enabled, so mind fraggers for example will not explode in acid. Regardless, it's just almost entirely default options that ship with the mod now other than choosing a specific base location. Let's jump in and view that starting cinematic.
The Phoenix Project was founded on October 24th, 1945. The Second War to End All Wars was over, but there were those who understood that we could no longer afford to think in terms of nations and empires. For a time, the Phoenix Project successfully navigated the political conflicts of its era. That was our golden age. Phoenix Project operatives scoured the world for clues. We had bases in 24 countries. Even the heavens were not off limits. But out there, on the far side of the moon, began our downfall. The failure of the Phoenix 2 mission exposed us to our enemies in the UN. Stripped of resources and scattered to the winds, we were reduced to a secret, a memory. When the Pandora virus woke up, we should have been the first line of defense. When huge clouds of mist appeared over the sea, when people started vanishing, we should have figured out what was going on. And when those people started coming back, changed, hostile, alien, we should have been ready to fight, but we failed. The ecosystem started to change, imperceptibly at first, then faster and faster. 3 factions arose. New Jericho, trying to restore order and purity. Sanhedrin, hoping to build a world without hierarchies. And the Disciples of Anu, a new syncretic religion dedicated to adaptation and biological change. At war with the world and at odds with each other, these factions cannot find a way forward. Now the mist is returning and armies are rising from the sea. Without the Phoenix Project, humanity will fall. It's time to rise from the ashes.
After all these years, you finally got the call. It meant that Symes and his deputies were dead or unreachable. Phoenix Project had gone dark. The trek to Phoenix Point was long and dangerous, but when you finally reached it, somebody was already home. I'm Mr. Ashby. Yes, the mist expert. Thanks for watching my content back in the day, I guess. A few of us managed to get to this bunker and activate the emergency beacon before we were overrun by the creatures that followed us here. We've got this place mostly up and running, thanks to Eleanor. She is quite the wunderkind. Yes, I remember you. Surprising to meet you here. Opa Alistair is good with people. I'm good with machines and software. This facility runs on a limited AI called Bennu. Once Bennu verifies your credentials as duly appointed director, all functionality should be restored and you should be able to interface with the system. Identify yourself and present your credentials. Okay. As always, we're going to start researching and let's have a look at our troops. Sophia, sanitation expert, immune to goo. That is entirely irrelevant at this point in the campaign, but it'll be nice later. I do quite like Squatter, extra strength and carry weight, always helpful. And that's an extra, 20 HP as well. So yeah, not complaining about that. Not always the best on every class. It's really helpful for heavies, obviously, technicians. But yeah, it's a good one. Not miffed about that. Sniper rifle proficiency, I could take that or leave it. Okay, Jacob has night vision, +2 speed, -2 willpower. Now the +2 speed is always nice on a sniper, bit more mobility. The negative willpower I don't really like on most classes, but it's actually reasonably... The sniper's reasonably forgiving because most of these abilities... Armor break is active, you activate it, pay will points, but and marked for death, but inspire, marksman, extreme focus are all passive. They don't require will points, so one of the better classes to have that penalty on. Shotgun proficiency is what it is. Fire resistance, sure, that exists. Our heavy has +4 strength, -4 perception. The +4 strength obviously is nice, but -4 perception's a bit rough. That will also impact the range at which return fire can proc, because that's half the perception range, so that is -2 tiles that we can return fire from. Nevertheless, the +4 strength is obviously very helpful for a heavy. Shotgun proficiency, not too bad. Paranoid, perception +4, hearing range +10, so it'll undo the -4 perception. I do quite like Paranoid, especially on heavies, to extend the return fire range. It's not really that impactful. I like it more than I should, given the actual value of it, but hey, it's a nice little way to make this back. So between these two, I'll end up with a net of +4 strength and +10 hearing range, which is honestly pretty nice. Also means +40 hit points, I believe. And then we have Ivan. Rocketeer is handy, depending on what you end up building. Handgun proficiency, neither here nor there. But it does fit in nicely with the Rocketeer. You can jump for 3, shoot something. Privileged. The speed and perception, very nice, but the carry weight is surprisingly penalizing. Particularly if you want to put on heavy armor. But hey, that's what we've got. Not complaining. We have our research started. We're not manufacturing anything at the moment. We don't especially have to. But I will just begin building a handgun, I believe. I always end up needing one at some point. Like, you know what? Let's just wait. I almost always end up needing one because I end up with an extra sniper or an extra berserker. But part of me screaming at me, just do it. You absolutely know you will need it at some point, but I'm not going to. Let's just save our pennies. Is there anything more exciting we can start building? I mean, I could start building a scarab. I haven't played with a scarab in such a long time. But if I do that, it means I can't, like, reload my guns and stuff after a mission. So we've found Synedrian. We're not going to tackle this mission just yet. I had a feeling this might be Synedrian. They tend to be down here. Gives us something else to research. I'm not going to tackle that mission yet because it's a little harder than some of the others. Say the Anu, I think the easiest opening mission. Okay, find a few extra materials. We cannot get to that point of interest yet.
Research complete.
As always, Haven recruitment protocols immediately. And we'll chuck the other ones in here. Just to make sure if I forget to go back and queue up my next research, we're not losing that time and something's chugging away. I think the marketplace will spawn here, based on our starting point. An abandoned town, a remnant of the old world. The kind of place where children grew up, went to school, got jobs, and grew old. A search of the buildings is like picking over the dead, but needs must. We might find some things we can use. We will of course search. I don't know why you wouldn't. Extra 160 materials and 60 food. Very nice. Thank you. start building that scarab. I can always cancel it if I choose to. It's going to take a long time to get there. I could end up buying the buggy from the Chaos Mart, but I've ended up doing that a few times since I last published. I've gone from never having used a Chaos buggy to being a little bit sick of Chaos buggies. Excerpt from a Neuric Delirium Psychosocial Impact Assessment on... Yeah, that's a date. There's other stuff. You can read that. We are ready to share our preliminary findings regarding the new Pandora virus outbreak. The viral mist is an extremely unusual phenomenon. It is in fact a highly complex aerosol, capable of moving with deliberation and transporting viral DNA and other microbes. It is our belief that the vast waves of mist that helped cause the destruction of civilization were generated underwater by gigantic, mutated structures. Each wave, including the current one, referred to by the population as the third mist, has slightly different properties. We have received reports of a variety of afflictions suffered by individuals who have travelled or reside in areas covered by the mist. Tiredness, lack of energy, brain fog, anguish, and sometimes hallucinations. So far, we can conclude the following. Symptoms never fully disappear, but are negligible when the subjects are fully rested, progressively become worse as they exert themselves. Symptoms get worse if the subject stays or returns to locations where mist is present. We have termed this condition Neuric Delirium, on account of the subjects complaining of nightmares or crazy dreams, with similar themes of monstrous degeneration and smothering. Our operatives can now be afflicted with the delirium status of up to a third of their willpower, and I believe this is the original Neuric Delirium Index icon. Keep scanning.
Research complete.
Okay. Haven trade protocols. Yes, please. Okay, so I could hire an extra sniper here, and he will have Rocketeer, Personal Defense Weapon Proficiency, and Paranoid. No one available there. I would need to probably stop building the Manticore to be able to afford that. I've been ambushed. So they've recently, I was just reading through some of the changes shortly before I began my first attempt at recording this. And this is a, for me at least, new change. That you can equip your soldiers for an ambush same as you would for any other mission, which I like. In this case, because I hadn't gone through this process. I believe you can opt out of this, if what I've read is correct. I'm grateful for it in this instance, because my guys were not equipped, and I would have had a real bad time. But I can also understand why it would sort of take away from the threat and the feeling of an ambush. Okay, we're up against the Bloody Eagles. Their leader is Roop. The tactics is experimental drugs or low-tier friendlies gain 10 regeneration. There he is. I have not played this game in ages. I've been playing a bunch of different games since you all last saw me, and I can't remember how to do a lot of the simple things like open this screen. Okay, so this is a new unit class since my last playthrough. I have seen it before, but I mean my last playthrough on the channel. Scavenger. They're essentially a berserker without the abilities. They have hand weapons and I believe pistol proficiency. Yep. Melee weapons and handguns, but they don't get all of those berserker abilities. He doesn't have anything on him, so he would have to like run right up to be able to do anything. We've got an assault here. Just the old machine gun. And another person on the roof there. You can see they've changed the headshots. So that's Jacob, Sophia, and my two randos.
Rolling out.
So we're going to come over here. We've got the tiniest bit of cover from that person up there.
Take that.
They got me. Ready, Willigan?
Beautiful. Cool points 1. Cool points 3. Cool points 1.
Ready, willing, and able.
Okay, so if I jump here and bash, I'm not confident it'll be enough. Could I get the days? 160. I can't remember how much damage. So I'll do 67 damage and 67 shock. That will not be enough to daze this unit. It's a bit unfortunate. I'm not entirely sure that I can actually kill anyone else. Obviously what I'm if it's not clear, what I'm trying to do here is trigger panic. Well, at the very least, I don't think this person will be able to get to any of my dudes now and hurt them.
Ready.
Let's get Jacob behind cover. And you'll just cover Sophia in case someone runs up and tries to take a swing at her with an axe. If the assault shoots at us, that's fine. It's not going to do as much damage as someone running up and axing, like at least at the sort of ranges we're dealing with. Okay, I don't know why they're kind of like running off and hiding like that. That's kind of interesting. See if we can get a better shot. That was not it. Okay, they're down.
Channel open.
So Jacob's going to move towards this crate of goodies and also high ground. The other thing Jacob could have done is healed.
I'm prepared.
But that's not how we played it, so... Yeah, no. What are we gonna do? Get your other grenade out, and... Yep, so... Entrances there are sort of around the front, so the one who's more likely to do something relevant is this guy.
I'm on over.
So we'll overwatch there.
Can't scare me.
Yep, got another one down. Nice shot on DJ the Raider there.
They can't scare me.
Definitely some odd decisions. We'll jump over here to get a bit closer. Get some will points back. Plenty of stuff that we'd like to take, but we don't have the action points right at the moment.
Let's show 'em what.
Get a kill with this other assault. Excellent.
See you in the next life.
See if we can get the kill with the pistol here.
One less to worry about.
We can indeed.
Sprinting to position.
And we'll get a bunch of will points back up here as well. Plenty of stuff to pick up. Now, okay, so there's another crate over there. Looks like that might be it. I guess there's a bunch of stuff in that box. Sophia's going to move here just to be a little bit closer to everyone else. No point in not taking an Overwatch. Okay, let's load up. Okay, so the exit's over there. Are there any other exits? Oh, and there's a crate there as well. Okay, so there are 2 more crates.
Moving in quick.
If we were only against Pandorans, because they would be limited to only their first evolutions that are melee only, I might be a little more inclined to stick around and grab all the crates, or similarly if we had a vehicle. It does feel like a bit of a shame to
They're not getting past me.
Rolling out.
just leave resources lying around,
Area covered.
but I just feel like the other 2 boxes are a little too out of our way by the time we got there. Like, we've got a couple more guys coming in here. Just so many more people would have spawned in. Like, by the time I get all the way over to the other side of the screen or down here, you know, it's either going to take a very, very long time to do it slowly and carefully, leapfrogging everyone over.
Ready.
We'll share the load here a bit. We can jump up here, get a bit closer to the exit. Okay, there's not actually any cover there. Push Jacob forward, we'll stay in cover. One of those people does have a gun.
Ready.
And move Sophia up. She'll overwatch. And that'll do it. Yep. Okay, we're a bit lucky there. We got an unlucky couple of bullets. We could have lost Jacob there. Yeah, we've got a heavy coming in. Like, definitely just moving away, I think, is the right decision in this case.
Watch this. Finger on the trigger.
That's a real good distance for throwing. This one's a real gun. Like 1 or 2 bullets graze from Sophia. Now, this is a little out of the way for Jacob. You know, obviously we're trying to move there, but there wasn't great cover. I don't want to move him too much closer to these two to take a couple hits.
I'm on Overwatch.
Yep, get some Overwatch. We'll take you down so you're at least crouching instead of standing up in the middle of nowhere, and that'll be a turn. Oh wow, none of them hit. That's a bit of a shame. Okay, so the assault's coming around the other side, trying to flank, but that's good. Those are shots that are not coming at Jacob, who's wounded. Okay, yep, so Brain Rot's definitely going to die, which is good. That's what we want them to do. That's stupid how far this heavy can throw grenades. Soften you up a bit.
Ready to fire.
Thank you, Jacob.
Do this.
Did take a lot of AP, but could be worse. Might as well, with our 1 remaining action point, just get that ready.
Moving out. Preparing to fire.
You're going to die anyway.
Ready.
So Sophia can overwatch there, and you can overwatch the heavy.
Holding position.
Yep. 1 down. Now we probably are going to take a couple of shots here. This one will bleed out at some point. Oh no. Okay, that's good. No actual damage. We didn't get dazed. Weapon was not destroyed. Good amount of damage on Showalter.
Open and fire.
Okay, no, yep. That wasn't destroyed, it was just damaged. Very good.
Sprinting to position.
Jacob's going to push to the exit.
I'm ready. out?
No, you could evacuate, but what we're going to do is take out you.
Took one down.
Going to be a little more methodical about it.
What's our move?
Don't love clumping up like this. But what do you do? And we'll move Alyssa out here. Bit more of an attractive target, and so we're not all clumped in the same area, so that like even like missing shots have a chance to hit someone nearby. Yeah, I didn't think we'd have much of a chance of hitting Luther. Really going after oh no, Sophia.
Open and fire.
Your head. Yeah, we weren't going to have much of a chance of hitting that heavy. I would have preferred to try and target this. I didn't focus the Overwatch cone that much because I didn't think I'd have a great shot either way. And to be honest, if Old Mate had been firing at that assault, they probably would have just hit our heavy. Now, let's have a look. Okay, everyone can leave. Let's get out of here. Very glad that I didn't try to get those other crates, as this would have gotten out of hand real quick. But we got some bonus resources, which is nice. I'm not going to complain about that. Got a bit of experience. Yep, Jacob, Sophia, both level 2. Very nice. We'll need to return to base to heal, which is not great at this point in the game. You know, at this point, I really want to be like going around exploring and expanding my like my footprint. But yeah, 200 tech, real nice. 300 materials, 100 food. Like, that's all very helpful. And let's level some people up. Sophia, absolutely. We came. Look, Die Hard, I don't love. There is nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly fine ability. It just doesn't speak to me. Given that Assault's are pretty ability hungry at the moment, probably will end up getting this, like especially for Sophia and Jacob. You know, you don't want to lose those two. They're the special two. But I might just wait and, you know, see if I can use that for something else. So we're at 15 speed, which is a little bit of an awkward point because we got the +1 from the armor. So we could buy one more speed for Sophia, or we could get her some more willpower, which would also be helpful. But I am going to go with, or we could get a bit more strength. I'll go with the speed for now. Oh, you get +2 and then -1 from your armor. That's why you're at 15. Minus willpower is pretty brutal. So we'll try and get that up for Jacob. And we're going to head on back and heal. Very good. Sophia needs to heal up, and her and Jacob both need to recover some stamina. I am kind of tempted to get another sniper here, but we're going to wait and just suss things for a little.
Sanhedrin was built on a dream, a world without hierarchies, without leaders, where human beings could embrace the potential of technology without its destructive side effects. The radicals of the old world had been proven right. The status quo could not sustain itself. But what now? What was the next step? Some argued for coexistence with the Pandoran ecosystem, hoping for a peaceful solution. Others advocated putting humanity before nature and claiming the planet for themselves. Trusting in the safety of their havens, the people of Sanhedrin argued about the best way forward. But the Pandora virus had little interest in their arguments, and its power was still growing.
Get a nice little bunch of tech. Scarabs 3 days away. What's next in the research? Phoenix Archives, good, and that'll unlock the Symes Retreat mission. This will be the marketplace. Earlier today, an asteroid crashed into Earth. The release of kinetic energy was roughly equivalent to the limited nuclear exchange between India and Iran during World War III. The impact event has been dubbed Hammerfall, the largest in Earth's recorded history. The asteroid hid deep inside a quarantine zone, where the Pandora virus has aggressively mutated, surrounding ecology. However, traces of seismic activity have been detected in faraway coastal regions, coinciding with rumours of Pandoran hordes emerging from the mist. The New Havens join in a ritual to welcome the prophesized trials and tribulations. I would have thought that it just said prophesied. Their incomprehensible chant reverberating across the airwaves. Synedrian, trapped in a complex web of its inner politics, fails to agree on a course of action, but one of their havens decides to send a mission to investigate the impact zone. New Jericho mobilizes its armed forces. Caught between the foolish and the mad, we must act, proclaims West. So that's the Festering Skies content. Yep, we have found the marketplace. So, we could just buy the junker. I don't want to. None of that's super exciting. Now, other. You can see there's people available. So this is what they've done with the promotional skins now. So I have seen the mercenaries in the bazaar. They've been around for a little while, and they'd been around for a little while before I stumbled across them. But I really like this. I think it's a good addition. Which reminds me, there's some new buildings as well. You can build the food production facility right from the get-go, which I think is great. Normally you unlock this building far too late in the game for it to ever be worth building, whereas now you can actually build it right away, which means by the end of February it might be able to start paying itself off, which is kind of cool. And it just makes it an actual choice. Do you want to build this or not? And that's actually an interesting choice, because to get maximum value you'd need to build it very quickly at the start of the game. Had I remembered, I probably actually would have built one already. I can't afford to now because I want to get some more troops as well. But yeah, I might have done that straight away. But yeah, it actually becomes a valid choice, and it's right at the start. So it's an interesting choice of, do you give up those materials that you might want to spend on recruiting soldiers or building equipment, or do you spend a little bit of extra, or, unlocking other bases and repairing facilities? Like, there's an opportunity cost, and because it's right at the start of the game, it's a bit more significant. But you can get a payoff in the mid to late game. And there's also security stations. I haven't got far enough through to actually see these in action, but yeah, apparently you get some security personnel doing base attacks, which is cool, I guess. Anyway, we've done what we've done. I want to get a new unit, so we're going to trade. So the default settings of the mod now make it impossible to turn a profit through arbitrage. Food and materials always trade 1-for-1 now. And tech is still the more valuable resource, but there's no way to exchange. It's just flat exchange rates for everything all the time, so there's no way to turn the old profit. So they use the skins for these mercenaries now. It's interesting, the armor's a little bit different to the default armors for any class. The old hound here, particularly, I have found interesting because he's quite cheap compared to buying a heavy from New Jericho or even outfitting one yourself. But his equipment is not as good. So again, there's just interesting decisions and interesting trade-offs to be had. But I said this was not the time to talk about my feelings about the mod. What I really want to get is the Berserker, because I do quite like the Berserker. So I actually prefer this armor to the default Berserker armor now, because it, rather than just being all plus speed, this gives you a mix. You got some extra willpower, you got some extra strength, and you still have a little bit of extra speed. You don't get as much in total, I believe, but you get a nicer spread, which I find really nice because the Berserker in Terror from the Void is really hungry for stat points. I think more than any other class, the Berserker wants really high stats. Strength is obvious. You know, if you're running around doing melee, you're going to be taking some hits. You need the hit points. Same for speed. You want to be as mobile as possible. And willpower. The Berserker has so many abilities that allow him to be explosive and deal out a whole bunch of damage. And that all comes at the cost of will points. So your willpower has a direct correlation to your damage output with the Berserker. You do really want all of them. The other nice thing is this armor has better armor values than the default Berserker armor, which is basically like wearing pajamas. So I've got minus willpower, plus damage. Obviously the plus damage is nice, but for the reasons I just discussed, the minus willpower is actually pretty painful on a Berserker. Because you want to be dashing, costs 3 willpower. You might want to do that twice in a turn. Gun Carter, free shots, costs willpower, you know, typical Berserker turn, dash up, swing, you know, maybe even double dash, swing your axe, fire off a couple of free pistol shots for free to get that last bit of damage to kill something off, to keep him safe. You know, and then you want to do it again next turn. But they have, Killer Instinct's cool. This is a new ability. -2 on an attack if you start close to an enemy. The reason I particularly and specifically wanted the Merc from the Bazaar is he gets the Punisher ability from the New Jericho recruits, causes additional will point loss when he kills things. So I quite like that. Another thing, mercenaries, that I didn't find out straight away when I started playing this again many, many months ago. You cannot mutate or augment mercenaries through traditional means. They are refused to be augmented. So I will, as I said, need to build this guy a pistol. I can't afford one at the moment. I'll need to do some more trading. I've traded out there, so we'll come down here. We are not going to assist Synedrian with this problem just yet. Okay, thank you. We're going to slap this pistol into the queue, move it to the top, and get exploring again. So these are likely to be Synedrian havens as well, because they're the only ones we've found. And so they would be giving us other exploration sites that are Synedrian havens. We're about to see another cutscene, I believe.
Randall Symes was the last leader of the Phoenix Project. His great-grandfather had been there when it was founded, and he was there to witness its end. When we took back Phoenix Point, we found his notes. In his final days, as the world collapsed around him, he'd been working frantically to understand the Pandora virus. Somewhere in the complicated history of the project, in decades of missions and investigations, there had to be an answer. His notes were damaged, too many of the files corrupted. But perhaps, if we could retrace his steps, we could figure out where his journey had taken him and what the answers he had discovered would mean for us.
And that'll kick off the Symes estate and also allow us to research the bar module, which is good. We had nothing else to research, and we will want one of these. However, that seems like a good place to wrap this video up. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Stay brilliant. I'm going to catch you real soon.